Hey guys, welcome to Tuesday and all of its Tuesdayness. So I'm Guy, and you're not, and so there you go. Okay. Hi, Brent. I've been Guy, you've been Brent. This is the way this goes. Okay, so I am discovering this morning how complicated it is to add music in. I'm going to see if I can lower that music down just a little. There we go. You should be able to hear me just fine. The music should be a kind of a low, dull roar. That seems about right. I learned, I'm doing this cool thing. I've got the speakers in my computer hooked into the board, and the board hooked into the computer. So I feel like it's kind of, I don't know why I can't just add the music to the show, but that's all right. That's okay. We got it good. So as long as the sound is okay. So last night I did some work on Meryl, and we'll get to that in a bit. It's interesting. Why wasn't it saved? But first, we are working on something for Geekway Homes. So I should put my little Geekway Homes logo on here. Work! Yeah. Working for Geekway Homes. Geekway Homes has been doing a little ongoing thing where they do a comic and they put it into a postcard, which they're sending out to everybody. And I think that's kind of cool. So I'm going to work on that today. We're going to work on this comic that we've got, because they're doing a broadcast this evening. And we're going to do their comic for them today. That's our job. This is our mission for today. So we've done 3 of them, and this is number 4. Number 4, I figure out where we are on this thing. It's been a few months because this guy got put on hiatus since there was no point in putting a card saying "Come see Holmes." This was put on hiatus for a while, and so I've got to figure out what happened to the masters on these things. I was going to do this last night and then didn't because I'm slow. I'm having a slow night is what I'm having, or a slow day, or a day, or something. The postcards are in here. I see them, but I need the master for the comic strip. Trying to figure out where that went. Because I know that there was a 3rd month comic strip ready to go. Or at least ready to be inked or figured out or whatever. Here's the 1/7, there's the 2. The March one never got done. Let's see if it loads. Let's see what happens over here. These are big files. Okay. Was there a front to it? Alright. So we did 3. Okay, so we had 3 of them. So now we're doing what isn't 4, but what is 6. So we took 2 months off. But it looks like we did the one that had the mice. There we go. Okay. So, let's talk about this. First, I might have to sneeze. There we go. Sorry. Okay. Should be an animation master, but there isn't. Okay, that's fine. We'll go look over here in comics and pull a Springs master out. Do. Yeah. So what we've got here is we've got a Springs master. Let me show you what we're working on. Ooh, right. Now, when we work on this comic, I'm trying to figure out how to make this work for my Geekting, or not Geekting, for my Geekway Home stuff. So, here we go. We're going to get in here. I'm going to look at Geekway Homes. And what we have is, let's take a look at the previous animation, okay, or previous comic strip. Okay. There we go. So this is the previous strip. This is March's strip. What I'm going to do is just take... Well, that doesn't have anything. This one's not the one I want. So, we've gone through a lot of things, all of us here, while doing stuff together. But now you're actually watching the, oh man, how do we set this stuff up so that it's correct? Oh my goodness. Thing. This is us trying to get everything squared away. There are instructions to this. And I don't remember where they went. This is so incredibly frustrating because I had the instructions in that folder, but now it's moved. Okay. We are looking for instructions is what we're looking for. You get to sit with me on this one. Sorry. I know this is horribly boring, but you know what? I've got music now. So that's just so awesome in and of itself, right? We've got music now. Okay, let's take a look at photos. Look at my camera roll. And see if I took pictures somewhere along the line. I'm having a moment. This is the weirdest moment. I'm looking through my pictures, and what I am seeing is a lot of scans and a lot of the photographs from... No, Nate won't remember. So here's what happened. But thank you. That's a great option. What happened? What had happened was, as my sister says, what happened was, I'm in the wrong folder here. That's what. God, too many folders that say pictures. I swear. We had done all of this layout for all of these strips, and we've done them on these wonderful pieces of paper. This piece of paper, which I took a picture of to save, but it never ended up moving from my camera on my phone to here. So all I've got to do is find the instructions, which are on the And I did it because I didn't want to lose this piece of paper, and I knew that shuffling my office like I just did would make me lose track of this particular thing. So this is in fact exactly what has occurred. I lost track of the piece of paper with the instructions on it. And so now I'm just going back in time real quick here to see if I can't find the instructions. Right? And that's all I'm looking for here. Usually what I do to save things is I'll just take a picture of it. You know, I'll take a picture of the instructions and then I can look back on it. But it needs to be in the right folder, which it's not in right now. We may move to something else if this continues on, and then I'll just have to do this at noon. Because this has to go out today. There's no this goes out tonight, and that's just the way of the the world. This goes out tonight, and there's nothing around it. So I'm looking at things that are in the wrong time period, the wrong era. I'll go look for it later is what I'll do. Okay, we'll switch. And double check this to make sure that's not the instructions. Yeah, Nate, sadly, Nate doesn't have any idea. Because we wrote it all down. I'm hoping one last look around here. Alas, it's not here. That's all right, though. That's okay. We'll figure it out. Well. All right. And I'll search for things that say paper or things that look like paper. Oh, I found toilet paper. That's funny. That's particularly humorous. However, going back through here, I can find a lot of things a lot faster here. People's phone numbers. Very useful. So, anybody actually know that you can search by, like, intelligent search on your phone? It's actually kind of fun. I mean, you can do these searches where you find the pieces of paper, or you can type in things that are somewhat intelligent. For example, you know, like in this instance, I just typed in paper, and it's now looking for everything that's possibly paper, which I think is amazing. It's found maps. I don't know about maps. I've spent the first 15 minutes not finding the things. There they are, right there. I found them. I found them way back in November. That's why I can't find it. I'm looking recently, like I took pictures of it just before I cleaned my office. But I didn't. It's in November. That's why. That's why. I found it. That's the maniacal laugh. I have a maniacal laugh. Here they are. And I'm going to put them in the correct place. There we go. Instructions. Done. Whoo, that was way too long for us to figure this out. Now, I'll load this up so you can see what we're talking about. Man, that took so long. So, here are the notes that tell us what we're going to be doing, right? Because this is January, and this is February, and this is March, and this is April. And all we've got here is just the rough concept of what's going on, right? April. So, we're going to put this over here. And we're going to look at April. I'm actually just going to kill this. You know what I could do? This would be interesting. Here we go. We'll take the magic wand tool and do that. And do contiguous. And do this. Shift Control I inverts it. Delete. Right? That wipes everything out except for those lines. Then we say stroke. I usually make these 18 on the inside. There we go. And poof. Look. Aren't I amazing? And actually, if I had been smart, I would have not done that, but rather done this and gone. Stroke. Poof. There we go. Now let's talk a little bit about saving this in here as the master. Right? I'm amazed sometimes. I have been doing this for so many years. And there's so many things that I don't do right. And I'm like, like when I get in a hurry, I'll get into this big hurry and I'll mess up stupid things. Oh, wow, that's interesting. Like, why is there no master for this? What happened to the master on this one? I guess the master's gone. I don't know. And so the question is like, then I'm looking at this, and without a master, how is anybody knowing what we're doing over here? Right? It's so weird. I do the strangest things sometimes, and I'm like, well, okay. Why would you do that? All right. So we're going to make a new master. We're going to do some of the things that we should have done before. Right? Like, why am I not watermarking this? He's never ever wanted that. Because of course this is Nate we're talking about. He loves the idea of us watermarking things. So why is this not watermarked? Right? For all the things that make me wonder why I didn't do this. Okay. Now it's watermarked. So what we're going to do is we're just going to merge those two together. And this is our new master. And we'll save it. Now we'll save as so that we don't screw it up. And we'll do 004. And now, let's talk about this plot. All right. Only 20 minutes late, but that's not so bad. It is already hot in here. Wow. We're already getting hot. Okay, so it says panel 1. Start with panel 1. It says closed. Yay. It's getting hot in here. Okay. There we go. Connie sets the appraisal. And it said originally April 30th, but now it says, now I'm thinking we should make that June 30th. That's when the baby's due. This whole comic has been a long comic about this has been an ongoing comic about a couple who are trying to buy a house. And so this one here is, that's what this is all about. Here is buying a house. Right? Okay. So now let's go ahead and ink this in. This is going to be relatively easy. It is the same panel over and over and over. We're just going to do one ink here. You've got the husband and the wife right here. And the wife is going to be pregnant. We want to make sure that she's obviously pregnant because that's part of the joke, of course, of this. Right? She's going to have her hand on her tummy here, as pregnant women tend to do, because this is not something they're used to. Poor pregnant women. I always feel bad for pregnant women. It was very, very. Yeah, it's going to be a hot summer. Jokes aside, it's going to be a hot summer. And we'll put the desk right here. There we go. Computer that's sitting at the desk invariably. No, not you. I'm not talking to you. My Alexa is being triggered again. Triggered! And here's Connie. All right. And she's doing the, hey, we're okay now. Isn't this great? We've closed. All right. There we go. Now, since they're all pretty much the same critter, and it's all going to be the same one except for the last one, I'm not going to bother putting in these two panels. What I'm going to do is go over here and have this last shocked look right here. Right? Because right? Oh no. That's what the babies do. And we'll do this and do this. There we go. Much better. So this guy, and this guy are all the same. I'm just going to change their arms or whatever, or their hand positions, but the rest of it's going to be the same. And I'm going to show you an interesting, we've talked about this before with comic strips, where the rules of the comic strip are you're not supposed to copy the picture. So I'm not going to copy the picture. I'm just going to copy the blue line. That'll help a whole lot right there. So let's baby. What baby? Is there a baby? Who's got a baby? Right. I think that's part of the problem, is that we're confused and worried that she's got a baby. Okay. Looking at Connie's desk. There we go. Now it's doing the, oh God, we're looking at Connie's desk. Okay. She was not a big person to begin with, so she's not going to be a very big person now. Okay. Let's zoom in over here. Here's what we're going to do. Second line in. We're going to... She has this going for her. And her haircut does this. Then it goes up to the top. Comes out like this. And it's been a while, but hasn't been that long, so she's going to not have a bunch of right. So there we are. That's this gal's face. I've forgotten her name, Sally or something. Right. She's going to be sitting back like this. There we go. There. Hand on her belly. Like so. She's pretty pregnant now. Right? I think you're the only person watching. I feel very sad. I'm doing good work for Geekway Homes here, and I'm just going to cry. I think you are the only one, but that's okay. Just you and me today, man. It's all good. There we go. There we go. She's got a baby. Baby. Not only that, when I initially drew this character, she wasn't that big of a person to begin with. And my wife isn't a very big person either. And when she was pregnant, it was very alarming amount of size. Okay. If you want to, just sharing that right now somebody's working on a comic strip. It seems like not a con thing, but okay. I'm okay with that. Yeah. You're like, I'm bored. I want somebody to talk to. And share this to consolation. That cracks me up. Okay. That's the gal in this. Now we're gonna look for the guy. The guy here has this really long face. I was allowed by Nate to kind of let myself go to whatever direction I wanted to on this, and it was actually, letting whatever kind of direction I wanted to go. So I went with this kind of comic style, right? Which is sort of a thing where I could go for a specific style here. Right? So we're going for kind of a comedic style on this one. There we go. Yeah, my dad once said he wanted to watch this, but I think he got himself lost somehow. That's okay. It's rough. Navigating social media is not any fun. So I get that. Right, so here we are, just kind of establishing this here. Hey. Our little couple is kind of still trying to get a grip on buying a house, so here we go on that one. Doing this here. Now Connie is, we want her to kind of have her haircut she's got. Looks like this. Let's see if I can find a picture of Connie Aller in here. There we go. She's got more of a bob going for her like this. Right? And like this, and like that. And more like this. That's more like what Connie Aller's got going for her. So Connie Aller is a title agent with BOK Financial. She's part of the What's Great in Brighton podcast. Make her happy. Right? Beep, beep. There you go. So being part of that It's Great in Brighton podcast is that she's part of this story. That's what happens here. She ends up being part of this story. It's the keyboard. Here's the stand for the monitor. Monitor goes this way. There we go. Connie's chair. Like that. then we come around here for the table. Now, looking at the picture, I already see one problem that I want to work on, and that is her head is just too big. I need to shrink her entire body down. Right? Because everything here is just too big. Yes, she's pregnant. No, she's not this pregnant. She's a little person. Little people are little. So, there we go. Fix that. Fix this. Fix this. There we go. It's amazing how one line tells us so much about what's going on the drawing. One little line, and she's smiling. If I were to take that one line away and just change the line, she's shocked, And it's like just one line can say so much, and that's amazing to me. It always amazes me if that's the way that these things work. All right. So we've got this. What we're going to do is copy and paste. Move this over. And then paste. We'll move this over. Okay. And then we go in here and just fix this a little bit. Right? So, I'll merge all the blue lines together. Right, now that all the blue lines are in one unit, we'll merge it all together. And we'll do a couple of things. One, let's make her eyes bigger. She's suddenly coming to the realization that this is a bad thing, right? Uh-oh. Of course, clueless guy here is clueless. So most dads are somewhat clueless, I think. I know, because I'm a clueless dad. That's not true. Actually, a lot of us dads are not very clueless. It's sort of a trope. And it is kind of a lousy stereotype. And I shouldn't perpetrate it or perpetuate it. So when she says June 30th, he's going to get a little worried too. Because he knows. He knows. Right? He knows this is not good. There we go. Now I'm rotating him over just a little bit. There we go, like this. Right. We'll fix that here because it doesn't quite match. Okay, there we go. No, don't do that. All right. Now, Connie doesn't know she's making this difficult for them. So what I'm just going to do is just move her head back a little. This just makes it easy, right? Why fight with it? Right, he knows, but he doesn't remember. Oh, man. When it came to the birth of my kid, I was the one who had every schedule written out. I was totally on it. It was my wife that forgot everything. That's just the way it was, which was fine. She would just rely on me to remember everything. All right. So let's go ahead and put in her eyes. There we go. And then move this over. Hit the save button real quick just because it would suck to lose all of this information. I'm actually going to take and move her all the way back. So she's like sitting back here where she's talking about the appraisal, everything like this. So we'll move her head back a little like this. This way, we've got a completely different maneuver here. So that she looks like so that it looks like she's moving. Otherwise, I get stuck with her in one spot. And that's not cool. Right, so we're going to move her to here. Put her hand on the table there. Her hand on the table right here. I feel like her eyes will be level more, and this will be less like this. Because her hair is so messy, I'm trying not to do any more. Not messy. Her hair's not messy. Gosh, wouldn't it suck if she was listening to this entire thing? And I was sitting here saying her hair was messy. She'd be like, why did you say my hair was messy? Move it in. There we go. That, that. There we go. So, make her look a little bit more relaxed. She's not. Nervous or anything like that. Taking some of this body language out of her. If she's sitting up too straight, it looks like she's nervous or worried or something to that effect, and we don't want her to be nervous or worried. This is a good thing, right? The house is now under and closed, and all is good, and we can skip to the next piece, which is completely screwing up the story, as you might imagine. Because what good would a story be if there wasn't a complication? Right? So there we go with this, and this, one here, take that out. And I'm just cleaning up this picture here. Maybe she's got some kind of blazer on. we didn't talk about what she's wearing, which sounds creepier than it needs to. Right, so we'll go V-neck right there. There we go. We also didn't... Yeah, that's too much. We didn't make her look happy. Alright, and moving on to here. We want him to be looking straight at her. At least just 45 here. You're like, how are you telling all this stuff in here? I mean, gosh, it's all like confused and stuff. And I'm like, yeah. How do I tell? I don't. I just mess it up really badly. But that's okay. It's all good. Because I got an eraser tool and I'm not afraid to use it. And that's really what's going on here. It's all about the eraser. No trouble. Good. There we go. Throw on this side here. There. Now I have to clean this up a little because he's got kind of wilder hair like this. And make his face long enough. Nope. Okay. There. And now what we've got is 3 distinct frames of 3 different things going on. And there's minor differences between these 2 frames as to what's going on here. And then we've got the setup and the gag. Right? Okay. Okie dokie. Oh, man. First thing in the morning, and boy, all of my joints are cracking and popping and all kinds of nasty stuff. Okay, so moving along, we've now blue lined in this entire thing. You can see I've got everything in here. This is the blue line rough. Her face is rounder. It's much rounder. Looking at the master file over here, and I'm just looking at my character design sheets. This character's got a very round face. And specifically almond-shaped eyes. Very almond-shaped. So the way you show surprise in comic strips, bizarrely, is to make the temples, or make the pupils very, very small. Very, very, very small, and the eyes big. Now, it won't be as sketchy as this. But this way, you can tell that she's gotten frantic a little bit here. And fluffing out the hair like this gives me the impression that she moved suddenly. Like she jerked back. The eyes aren't leveled up. So let's level those eyes. Humans are very attracted to eyes. So if you mess up the eyes, we see it fast, really fast. Alright, so let's take a look at this to make sure we've got this straightened up. Not only that, strangely enough, looking at the master sheet, her eyes aren't rotated enough, bizarrely. They are exaggerated, almond-shaped eyes. And so we'll go ahead and fix this. And I'll just go on ahead and do that. Like this. There we go, much better. Except that they really are like this guy. They really are like this. Like, seriously. Bring around like this. Alright. Yeah, hello everybody who's watching. Feel free to comment if you've got questions or want to just comment on the fact that on anything I'm doing weird with this comic or whatever. This is, for those of you who are joining us just now, this is a comic that's an ongoing series for a real estate agent. He's doing little postcards, which he sends in the mail, and it's had an ongoing story from this couple who is trying to buy a house. And so the comic strips are all individual, telling this ongoing story of this couple. Some of the strips are funny in a more ridiculous way, and some of them are pretty serious in this way. We had this was last month's, or the previous month's strip, which was March. Of course, he wasn't selling any houses during that time, so there's no there was no April or May. So we're now on June, and we're just continuing the story. They've got this house, everything's perfect, but the mice want them to leave, and that's, and so this is Nate, who's the realtor involved. And so now we are on to the next stage here, which is the agent, the housing agent, or the real estate broker. And it's Connie Aller with BOK Financial, which is the mortgage company that generally, actually, I can't even say that because he doesn't actually generally work with any one mortgage company. It's just somebody who does the What's Great in Brighton podcast. So, so What we've got here, though, is that this is the next one. They've closed on the house, and the appraisal date will be June 30th. And she says, oh no, that's when the baby's due. This one doesn't have a lot of plot per se. It's not this is one of those connector comics where you have to have a connection between the two. I don't normally need to onion skin. I just onion skin, like usually when I use blue line, I tend to not want to onion skin, but because that's what the point of blue line is. However, I like to onion skin every so often. It helps me figure out what's going on. Onion skinning is where you add this little bit of, it's an animator's trick, right? With animation, we put this, we use this paper that's called an onion skin paper. It's very, very, very thin. And it's how you do animation. You put the onion skin paper on top of the previous drawing, and it's like tracing paper. I think actually you guys would probably, most people would just call it tracing paper. It's probably the simplest way to say it, right? And then you onion skin. You do like 4 or 5 of them, and then you can flip back and forth through the paper and see whether your animation looks good or doesn't look good or whatever. So, technique I picked up from there. We're going to go ahead and I'm going to start backwards and go this way. Right. And then we'll put in the distressed eyes. Distressed! Oh, nose! That's when the baby's due. Who knows? That's when the baby's due. Okay. There we go. Go through here and erase a little of this. And then better lacrimel. Okay. Comic strips don't have complicated noses. Unless you're Bloom County. At which time the nose is a critical part. Now, I'm going to have to color her hair black. So since that's the case, I need to make sure that we are sealed on all sides of the drawing, because I'll be coming back in with the paintbrush tool. Some crazy hair. Right? This is she's a bonk. You know, this, like, it's supposed to indicate that the concept has just smacked her in the face. Right? There we go. Collar of her shirt. Now, usually we have to be very, very careful about getting up into this upper area, because there will be a dialogue box up here. And I need to be very careful not to put anything critical in that dialogue box, right? So long as later I'll put in the dialogue box up here, and that won't be a problem. But for right now, we've got to be careful. Okay, so we'll go through here, here, and here. Now that we've colored our hair black, I'm going to go back through and just clean up some of this stuff. Clip Studio Paint does a far better job of fill, but it does a far worse job on text. And we've had Kat on before, an artist in South Dakota, a buddy of mine, and she was talking a little bit more about how Clip Studio Paint works. She's much better at it than I am, and I want to move over to Clip Studio Paint. I just haven't gotten there yet. So, for those of you who are joining me, I do this every day at 10 o'clock Mountain Time to noon Mountain Time. And I do a number of different projects on here, and you can just watch me draw and keep me company, which is really all I'm really after. I'm a production artist and do this a lot. I've got quite a few little weird projects that I do all the time. Learn a little bit about the projects I'm working on, and hear me talk about weird things. I could ramble. It's been known to happen. So, welcome to the show. And there we go. Okay. And she looks suitably shocked. I'm feeling, though, that her eyes are unlevel, which that irritates me a lot. One of the tricks we can always do is this. Okay. Copy and paste. Right. If we really feel like her eyes aren't working right, we can do this. And they aren't. They're slightly curved eyes, though. And then I'll take here, go here, and go whoa. I hate when I push the button on my pen. Right? There. Now her eyes are completely lined up and fine. And we'll double check by taking away the blue line. And that looks great. Alright. So I'll take that guy and merge him down. So, a lot of this is the reason that happened, if you're wondering, because I didn't actually do the crossbar across her face, which usually gets me all lined up properly. Like, her chin isn't lined up underneath her mouth properly. That'll have to be done. Right, because we want this. And it's riskier to do this in ink, though it's not that risky because digital. And there once was a time where you wanted to make sure your your pencils were tight. If your pencils were so much as a small smidgen off, then somebody inked badly, and that would be a lousy thing. Okay, let's move back one to this one here. We'll ink it next. We're going to just kind of go in here. We'll ink her eye. I always start out with the eye, because then if I've really messed it up, I'll see it right away. And I give a lot more structure once I'm in ink. Right? Now, we've talked before, and the question, of course, is if you're doing the exact same frame, why not ink it and then copy it? And apparently there is this unwritten comics rule that says that you don't copy. Right? You're not supposed to copy. You're supposed to hand draw every frame. So We hand draw the frames, which that's okay. We're good. So here we are hand drawing this frame. That's all right. I'm okay with that. And I don't know who came up with this rule, but I know that it has been referenced by many artists, not the least of which was Calvin Hobbes. Bill Watterson had made an ongoing commentary about this at one point in time. It was very funny about how you're not supposed to photocopy. So, of course, he photocopied everything. And I've seen it a number of times in a number of other comics. They address it in a comedic way by copying, of course. Because comics are comics, and that's the way we do things, right? So, going through here. Here we go. It's summertime, so she can wear a nice, decent blazer that's not hard and not super heavy. Makes some sense. Should probably move over to here. She's just telling them that they'll be doing their final work on this on the day that the baby is due. Right? There we go. Some eyebrows in here and have her hair go that way. There we go. So she's like, hey, this is cool, man. It's totally cool. Like, it's going to be on June 30th, which is when the baby's due. She just doesn't know that yet. Now, I've known Connie Aller for a long time. I'm pretty sure that in real life, Connie Aller would be like, hey, when's the baby due? And they would say June 30th, and she'd be like, let's move the appraisal. But that wouldn't make for a funny comic, and you wouldn't have the dun-dun-dun from this particular episode going, and there's that. So... the guy with the long face. Why the long face? It was funnier whenever I drew him the first time. Why the long face? There we go. There we go. We'll do that. Give some structure to his... We don't need to see anything else down here because it's just kind of... His arms are to the side, I guess. I don't know what I'm doing down here. I don't know where his arms are to the side. The chair. I don't know what he's doing. He knows what he's doing. He doesn't know what he's doing. Nobody knows what they're doing. We're all just lost. Okay. Her hair is black. I'm going to go ahead and put this in. There we go. Excellent. And then we'll do this. And now what we've got is this. Taking out the blue line underneath it, we've got 2 frames ready. We'll have the other 2 frames ready to go to here soon. I'm looking at her from a previous comic, and I'm feeling like I did not, in fact, exaggerate her features enough. I mean, she is almost Stewie in facial exaggeration here. I'm just looking at where she is here. Her head is very, very round, going the other direction. So I feel like I want to redo that, which is kind of a bummer because this artwork's already done. But I've been working, I think, too long on in the manga style. And that's messing with my comic style. So let's go ahead and real quickly tackle some of this. She has a rounder face, more like this. This is my guide, right? Let's actually put her head upward like this. She's going to be like more like that. Okay. Right. Our heads tilt up in alarm. So when we are alarmed by something, our heads tend to tilt upward. So I'm moving her head up in alarm a little here. I'm not going to actually make her mouth that high up though. Right, like this. And her nose is right here. And then we can make her eye go like this. And this eye go like this. Right? There we go. And then we wrap her hair around like that to make it still flighty like this. And once more, address the character sheet. That looks more like her in alarm, right? Okay, so I'm feeling a little bit very, very thin neck. There we go, much better. Now we can go in, and that looks more like this character. Hi, what are you doing? There we go. Excellent. So, bringing along here. And I'm Just cleaning up this line. And someone's cleaning up the street. Kind of interesting. Makes my life more interesting during broadcasts. Street sweeper go by. All right. So she's stressed out a little here. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. Where are you going? There we go. There are a lot of sort of conventions that artists have for things that we just all read now. It's amazing how close writing is to comic art. Because we have a lot of things that make cues that aren't really what humans do. For example, our pupils do not, in fact, get smaller when we are shocked. In fact, our pupils don't change size at all. But the way that we do this in comic art is to shrink the pupils to indicate a wider eye, which I find funny. Right? So, there we go. Make sure this does not leak, because we've got to go through the same thing we did before. But I find the fact that we as humans have a certain number of telltales that we are already used to, codes, if you will, that the comic artists peg in on. There we go. And now I can just take this and fill this entire area. It fills all at once. And now that, and this is part of the thing, I have a hard time seeing whether we did it right until her hair is all black. Then I know, because then I know her. Once I've figured it out at that point in time, I'm like, oh, I get it now. In design here. It's always been sort of one of my problem children there, is that I have a hard time perceiving the character until the character's hair is darkened. And a lot of my characters have black hair. Because by world population, the majority of the population of humans is Asian in one way or another. And so I always do these stories where we are out in space and doing space things, and I figure if it's everybody universally, then most of the people would be Asian or Asian descent of some sort or another. They are the majority on the planet. But even so, people who do not have black hair represent a minority, because black hair is prevalent in Asia and in like our native tribes, and of course anybody who is dark-skinned, very, very dark-skinned, African and that culture, they all have black hair too. So our Latino population has black hair. And I find this to be sort of fascinating. It's like an anthropology, which I find amazingly fascinating. I always do. People fascinate me. That's why I do what I do. People fascinate me. We're just freaking out her hair here. There we go. I think I'm done fighting with it. I was going to fight with the top of her head, then I realized there's going to be the cleaning truck is back to clean the other side of the street. We are cleaning the street. Cleaning the streets. Good job. Good job, cleaning truck. Okay. On here. Right. There we go. Come up over here. Usually she doesn't have broken hair, but I'm assuming that she is done trying to worry about her or fuss with her hair, because she is 9 months pregnant, or 8 months pregnant. She is pretty much done with the universe. She's done with all you people. She's already done with everything, right? I'm done. I've had it with you people. You're all irritating me. I'm huge. It bothers me. My body is not the same place as where it was whenever I left it last. Spent all these years figuring out where my limbs are and yada, yada, yada. And now I'm running into stuff. Yeah. She's done. Done, I tell you. All she wants is French fries from Sonic. Can we have French fries when we leave here? I just want French fries. I think that was the funniest thing. My wife is very health conscious and eats very well and yada, yada, yada. And boy, that was when she was pregnant. That's what she wanted, was French fries. It's like, okay. It's particularly humorous. That's what she wanted, was French fries. And big steaks. She wanted big steaks, which was even funnier. So I still to this day have a lot of entertainment. I derive a lot of entertainment from her. She didn't want pickles and ice cream. She just wanted steak and French fries. So funny. Luckily, at the time, we were in the South, and steak and French fries was relatively easy to come by. Good steak and French fries. Yeah, I'm not saying that we don't have good steak and French fries here, but at least it was not brutal. Could have been bad. Could have been in a place where the steak and French fries really sucked. I am rambling on about food at this point in time because I think I'm hungry. I'm pretty sure I'm hungry. Alright? So, now that we've done this, he's got, weirdly, a long sleeve shirt on. I don't know why he's got a long sleeve shirt on either. But he does. And it's just by his side. All right, moving over to Connie Aller. Go. She's like, oh, happy. And we'll put her in a little blazer. Now all I'm doing here is just, this is a comic strip, so we don't need to go that detailed on things. We do need to do this accurately. I mean, really, you can't just not do this right. And I have a feeling that it should probably be more like, whoa, 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 where are you going? Like that. Right? And she's saying, hey, it's cool. Everything's cool, man. It's all cool. It's important. And this is somewhat of a speed paint in that I want to be able to get it done before the hour's up, and we're at 30 after. And we've still got a couple of pieces that need to be done on this. Got 30 minutes left. I've now spent an hour on this drawing. It's actually not bad, but it has, he looks like he's looking over here somewhere. That's funny. Let's fix that. Excuse me. Clearly, we are out there mowing and doing crap again. Those of you who are just joining me, I'm doing a comic strip for Geekway Homes, which is a realtor, a friend of mine, a realtor who is out in Brighton, but he'll work anywhere in Denver. And actually, he'll work anywhere in the world if you need him. That's his logo in the upper right-hand corner. I'm going to put his phone number in next time I come in here and do this, because I'll be doing this every month. But he's got a comic strip he commissioned me to do, where this couple here is going along and they're trying to get a house, and it's sort of their plight of housedom or whatever. And so they've been going through this entire process, and we are about halfway through the year now. And there we go. Let's fix this. Because, again, with the astonishing how just one small change alters everything, right? Now he's looking at Connie. There we go. So, we now have 2 panels completed, or 3 panels completed, and I want to fix this because it looks rough. I like sort of a more rough look on things, but I don't like it that rough. This is too much. Okay, there we go. Just clean that up a little. There we go. No whammies. All right. So, where we are now is moving along quite nicely. And like I said, it's fascinating how from even here, you can see her expressions change, right? You can see his expression change. You can see her expression change as she gets constantly more worried. And all we did was just literally move a few pixels. And I've changed her position and her position, her position here and here and here. And it really does give her motion. We're very sensitive. Humans are very sensitive to changes in pictures. We always seem to play that game of, what changed in this picture all the time. Let's get a little closer. Let's start with her. Yay. She's happy because they closed on the house. There we go. And we'll kind of go along here. When you're drawing, it's fascinating to me the thought of what do these characters do? What are they doing? What is she doing? Like earlier I was talking about how she is sick and tired of everybody because she's now a blimp and she hates the world and she just wants steak and fries. And, I impose an entire world on these characters, and it helps me draw them though, because I know what they are, who they are, what's going on with them, makes them more real, really. Right? And I like that. I feel like that's a cool thing. I assume you're here, David. That took a long time. Hey, David, you can hear the music, right? Music's still going? Everything's good? It's not overpowering me? Cool. Okay. Moving along, moving down here like this. Moving like this. Alright, moving like that. I'm just putting in her. So should we call you King David now? Because you've got a crown? I think I'm funny. I really do think I'm really funny. I know that I'm the only person that thinks I'm funny, but I think I'm funny. You guys can all just jump off a cliff. Alright. So David, what we're doing today... Okay, well, that's a stupid place to put your crown. It's supposed to be on your head, David. On your head. I tell you these things all the time, and you never listen to me, man. You never listen to me. And yes, King David! Oh, I'm easily entertained. I missed you, man. I missed having you here for the first hour. Okay, so, David, to bring you up to speed, we have, I'm working on a comic strip for Geekway Homes. Every month they're putting out a little strip that about this couple who is going through the process of buying a home. And so I was commissioned by Nate Oswalt with Geekway Homes to do these cute little comics every for the duration. So we've got this little family here who was living in a very small house in the very first strip, and then they got pregnant, and so now we're quite a ways along in the pregnancy, and so we were talking about me making comments about different things where the characters were living and stuff like that. And I was recalling humorous things about my wife being pregnant, which I'm sure she really will appreciate when she finds out that I've been saying that live on air. But that's okay. I haven't been talking about all the gross things that go with pregnancy, just the funny things, like her wanting steak and fries, which was hysterical to me. So anyway, so what we've got going on here is, by the way, anybody else who's watching, if you want to talk to me, you can. You can find me. You can just type into the chat, or not into the chat, but into the thread on Facebook or on Twitch, and it'll show up on my screen over here where I can see it. This is why I'm home buying is pretty tough. This is why I'm responding to David and Brent. They're usually here with me every day, which I really appreciate, because I really like the company and stuff like that. So we've got this couple here, and I kind of did all of the character design for all of this a long time ago. I'm really kind of getting attached to these guys, you know? I like this guy doing the, hey, isn't it cool? We got the house. That's so exciting. And it's like, there we go. So, but anybody else who's watching, you are more than welcome to make a statement or comment, and I'll respond in kind. I think it's kind of important. Originally, I was going to kind of do the classic dad thing and have him be clueless and not realize June 30th, the significance of it. But like I was saying earlier in the cast, it was me that tracked all of our dates and everything like that in the family. My wife missed all of it. So, and she left all the scheduling to me, and I was fine with that. That was just fine. So, I kind of think that it's probably not a good idea to perpetuate that stereotype, especially since personal experience, I was definitely not the one that I wasn't a clueless dad. I had clueless dad moments, though. Don't know any dads that haven't had clueless moments, though. That's a thing. us out here have had clueless moments. Of course, I don't know many moms who have had clueless moments too. It's not limited to dads. All right. Oh. And she's just saying, hey, check it. You got the house, mans. You guys are cute. You got the house. It's very awesome. I hate that. It's a converging tangent. Right there. No converging tangents. Go through here. So I was talking earlier in this podcast about how we have the rule that we're not supposed to copy our pictures. So instead, I copy the blue line and then retrace. Seems to be the thing. Okay, blue line off. Let's take one look at it. Everything looks good. Hit save. And then give my hand a break for a second. So, ooh, doggy. Let's talk a little bit about the text. I want a text bubble in here. Oh, man. Okay, let's talk about text. I have a number of fonts that I have made. These are my fonts. I made them. And I usually go 18 or 24. I think 24 might be usable here if I can. Kind of get into this. Lorem ipsum dolor sit emet is what we call Greeking, which is funny because I think it's Latin, but we call it Greeking, which is usually what artists will put in whenever they don't know what dialogue needs to be in there. But we know right? We know what we're going to say here, and I actually feel like maybe 18 is probably better. Move this down. Congratulations, we closed in the house. I feel like I spelled that bad. How bad is the lag? These are the questions that boggle my mind. So you're having bad lag day today? Sorry to hear that, Brent. All that's left now is the appraisal. So there's a grid up here that it's snapping to. And that's scheduled for June 30th. her go, oh no. Right, we'll have her then say, that's when the babies do. Get that all squared away. We'll onion skin this too so we can see it, right? I feel like I've misspelled stuff. That's when the babies do. Right? So next thing's next. I'm going to do a quick check on this. Let's see here. Check the spelling. And, well, fine. I feel like congratulations is not right. That's all right. So we have an internal spell check on here, and now I'm nervous that it didn't do it right. That's my wife calling, and I'm hoping she just good. Okay, so it does catch it. It just doesn't know how to... Oh, there we go. I'm like, where is it? There it is. Spieling. Oh, I like that. That's good. Done. Okay. Good. So I just spelled everything right the first time, which never really happens in real life. So it's all good. I'm going to message her and say, is this important? Huh. She says, I forgot you're broadcasting. That's fine. We are almost done here. We're going to go to this layer, add a layer, and now we'll put in the bubbles. Alright. Except that she's shocked, so that's not what I want. I want this. And that's scheduled for June 30. Oh, that's a lousy bubble guy. Space over here. Putting a little bit of heaviness in here gives a little bit of weight to the bubble, and that'll look good. Although the bubble is touching text, so we're going to have to fix that. But that's okay. We'll get there. There we go. Make sure it's sealed. white. And go boonk, 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 boonk. Right? We can kill this guy right here. And now we have this going for us. Work, 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 work. There we go. All right. Now, I don't like to have just blank backgrounds like this. It seems like we need to do something back there. So I'm going to real quickly put in some different textures to just give it some different feeling back there, just to give us a little different textures and just different things going on. And I have some of these deleter textures, which I use a lot, right? So like we got these sparkly star things. That looks good. 25 minutes later, we actually can load it. I don't know what that's all about. Man, it's taking forever. There we go. Open with Adobe Photoshop. So we'll take some of these, because this is a cool thing, right? Copy. Paste. Move it down to here. Underneath there. We say, oh, look, congratulations. You won the Cupid doll, right? So we'll, first things first, trim down this guy, Control-Shift-I, delete. And then I'll go up here onto this line, and let's hope that this works, right? Didn't quite work like I wanted it to, but it's not bad. So now I'll go on to here and say Control-Shift-I, delete. And that's not horrible, right? Because I can go through here real quick with an eraser and just hit some of this down here because it's not underneath our chair. And then it's not on our desk. And actually, that wasn't horrible. Could be far worse. Okay. Take this guy, and we are going high speed, low drag for this. Right? I've got another one that's kind of like stars and bars, so I'll do that one. We've got about 4 minutes left to finish this guy. All right. Copy. We'll paste it. And move this guy here. And all we're really doing is just giving a little bit of texture to this entire thing. Control-Shift-I, delete. And go up on this here. Oh, hey, that one's going to be all nice. Look at that. Look at that. Almost looks like it means to do that. Control-Shift-I, delete. Select the eraser tool and just clear out from behind her chair because there's nothing there. Right? And then, oh no's. Right? Oh no's. They're going to realize that bad thing is happening. I'm actually going to make this lighter. This is when I realized I didn't actually tap the, so we're going to make this 50%, 20%, I guess. Looks about good there. All right. And we'll just clear this point here and clear this point here. Clear this point here. Oh noes. And then we will go up to the line, tap here. No, wrong line. Tap here. Wrong layer. You have to stop. But why? You're on the wrong line. Okay. Deselect. Go in here with this. And just clear out from behind her chair. This makes it not quite so weird. There we go. And then there was the realization that I hadn't actually done that. There we go. Now, consider this done. We'll sign and date it. And we're out. All right. Golly. That was rough. That was a rough one. That was close, man. That was really close. Okay, there we go. We've completed this one now. And it actually took me about 2 hours, an hour and a half. I still have another about 15 minutes of laying it into the actual postcard. And then it would be ready to roll out the door. Those of you joining me today for the first time, you can find me on Facebook at GS Davis. You can find me on Instagram, Patreon, Twitter, Picardo, DeviantArt, and Patreon at GS Davis Art. So, okay. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it too. I think it looks fine. It's a good solid strip, and it'll be rolling out tonight for the client. We'll do this one again in July. We'll be doing the next one in July when we get up on July 1. So there is that. In the meantime, have a great day. I hope you guys are having a wonderful time, and I hope all is happy and everything. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.